Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Smallville. We're going to be talking about the Smallville sequel that has been teased for a long time. We got a new update. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so in the lead up to Superman Lois Season 4 coming out this October, we'll be talking about various DC related news and topics. So if you guys have any suggestions of videos you want to see on the channel, please be sure to let me know down in the comments below. What would you like to see? Sorry for the inactivity recently, just some personal stuff going on in my life. I haven't been able to make loads of videos, but also there is a lack of news out there, so I do want to get active again and start posting more and more, kind of going towards daily or at least once every 2 days once again. But obviously when Superman Lois comes out, we're going to be really busy. Our schedule is going to be packed. Going to have trailer breakdowns, sneak peek breakdowns, photo breakdowns, news breakdowns, actual reviews and breakdowns of certain episodes. So look forward to that, but for now let's talk about Smallville. So Tom Welling has offered a Smallville animated update, and this is obviously this month. This was literally posted yesterday by Craig, my friend who runs Krypton site. So go check out the article, link is in the description below. That is what we're reading off of. And so Tom Welling has offered an update on the potential Smallville animated sequel that we have talked about before. And if you guys remember, this Smallville animated sequel is more likely than not going to happen at some point, and that's because they've got the full backing of the showrunners of Smallville, the whole cast and crew that obviously are going to be working on it if it does happen. However, Michael Rosenbaum, who is kind of leading this project and kind of praying that it's going to happen at some point, has said in the past that they don't want to pitch it yet, just due to all the stuff going on at Warner Brothers and the fact that DC is just revamping, and so they don't know if it's the right time to pitch Warner Brothers, but they will do it at some point. So I've said this before, but I'm pretty sure this is the most concrete series that we could potentially be getting, more so than a lot of other potential series that aren't linked to the DCU. So this would be a great Elseworlds project for DC to work on at some point. But let's get into the article. So it says, it seems that every few months we hear news about the potential Smallville animated project that Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum have been discussing. On August 18th, Tom Welling attended the Terrific Con convention in Connecticut in America, and while there he was asked about any potential creative endeavors involved in the show, and of course Smallville came up. And this is a quote, "We've been talking about it for a few years," Tom said, adding that Michael Rosenbaum and some of the other cast members have been a part of the discussions. "We want to do a Smallville comic book and animated series, and then we would all voice the characters. We've already got an artist, we have a poster, we haven't been able to share it yet, but Lionel Luthor is looming over everybody and it's really cool. But we just can't do anything without DC saying we can do it. They just haven't given us a green light, but we're ready, and Al and Miles, the showrunners who wrote and ran Smallville, want to write it, but it's not our property until they say we can do it." And then Tom continues by saying, "It would be more of a labor of love and it's not going to make $1 billion. So the studio is kind of like grumbles while he was making a noise when he was saying this out loud. "Maybe we can do not a GoFundMe because that's financial, but like a petition. We can petition Warner Brothers to let us do it," Tom said. So no news yet, though the mention of a comic book is a component that we haven't heard before. It is also curious to see whether the showrunners could even be contractually involved due to them actually recently signing a deal with Sony Pictures. And obviously Smallville is run by Warner Brothers because it's DC related characters. So let's go ahead and break this down. Let's talk about everything that he's talked about here, because he's dropped a couple of bombshells that we haven't heard previously. So as Craig says when writing, we haven't heard about them wanting to do a Smallville comic book before. That is something completely new. Obviously you've had continuations in the past in the comics, it's a very normal thing to do, and so by linking an animated series and a comic book, that can easily work because the forms really relate to each other. It's a type of art, and it's actually really exciting to hear that they could do a comic book. and they have been working on that alongside the animated series, so they've got everything ready and ready to pitch. However, as he says, they need to get the green light. And Tom's statement kind of goes against what Michael Rosenbaum has previously said, because when he talks about potentially petitioning to Warner Brothers to let them do it, Michael Rosenbaum has said nothing similar to that before. He actually said that they were waiting to pitch and waiting for the right time to actually bring it up to Warner Brothers. And so I don't know what's happened behind the scenes, but potentially they've already pitched it and maybe Warner Brothers kind of grumbled a bit over the idea because it's not going to make them a ton of money like their other shows and like their other movies that they're making, as Tom says. And so potentially they could do a petition, which I don't think they're going to do because I think that's just a bit desperate. And I think Warner Brothers at one point will probably let them do it if they can spare some budget. And obviously the comic book is separate. That would be to do with DC Comics specifically. And so let's go into what he said about the animated series. So he said that they've been working on it and talking about it for a few years now, and they want the showrunners to come back and they're ready to write it if the project gets the green light. Otherwise it's just kind of a waste of money, it's a waste of time, and it's not their property, as Tom says. It's DC and Warner Brothers property. And so they've already got an artist, they've hired an artist for, I guess, the comic book, but I guess also the animated series to get the whole design of what it's going to look like. Obviously that would be part of the pitch, you know, show some slideshows, show some images of potentially what the Smallville characters could look like in animated form, and then all the cast members who are available and they want back, they will all come back and do the characters, because it seems that they are all on board right now to actually do this if they get the go ahead. And apparently they also have a poster. That's something completely new. So if they share that at some point, that means yes, we're gonna see this project actually happening, which I just really hope it's gonna happen, because I think this would be a great precedent to set. I know it's selfish from me, but I really want to see an Arrowverse animated series in the near future or in the distant future. And if they got the go ahead to do that, that could potentially lead to some other animated series that are within DC, but they're not part of the DCU and they're just Elseworlds projects, potentially reviving some old worlds. Like, even if you look right now what DC has done with the new Batman show, right? That is a proper classic Batman show made by Bruce Timm. You would imagine Kevin Conroy would have been in it, but sadly he died before they were recording it. And so that is a proper great throwback animated show that is within DC, because that's a Batman show. And so if they do this Smallville show, that would kind of continue on from what they're doing there. Obviously that's a separate story, and this would be a direct sequel to Smallville. And if the Arrowverse did it, it would probably be a direct sequel to the ending of the Arrowverse, the ending of The Flash and Superman and Lois and all the other shows. And so they want to continue this and they want to expand the Smallville universe, and they've been planning to do this for a while, and they've got everything ready. Like I said, they got people ready, they've got the poster, they've got an artist, and they can definitely pitch if they haven't done already. So that's what Tom's saying, and I like that he's given us an update, although we still have no official confirmation about it officially going ahead. This is still talk, and I believe every time that Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum go to conventions, they're going to be talking about this because they really want this to happen. And if there is enough fan anticipation, which has definitely been building up to do with this Smallville animated sequel, I think Warner Brothers can be persuaded at one point, but it might just not be for a while now. And as he said, that kind of relates to the petition idea. It's if the fans want it, and I think if there is enough noise, similar to how like Zack Snyder's Justice League became a thing because there was so much noise, there was so many petitions, and it was a really big deal at the time. And so I think if fans make this a big deal and there is noise, potentially Warner Brothers could bite, and I would love to see this. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this? Hopefully this is a good update for those of you guys who are looking forward to potentially seeing this at some point. And what do you think about the added news that they are working on a Smallville comic book? that could potentially be released before this animated series or at the same time as the animated series that they are currently working on. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.